Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I guess we'll start off with Felicia and Lucas. Because one of the things that Lucas is not there asking about was how did Bobby um, tolerated, I was about to say Lorray, Carly's relationship with Sonny, right? And one of the things right off the bat that I found, because here's the thing, I feel like ever since Lucas met Sonny, I mean, ever since Lucas met Marco, he's just been just out of pocket. That's the best way I could sit there and describe it in some way. But, he talks about the argument he had with Carly. And one of the things he says was he was upset with Carly for dismissing his relationship to defend Sonny. And I'm like, wait, let me get this straight. You're sitting there telling me that she dismissed your relationship that you known this guy for like, what, 2 or 3 weeks to defend a man that she's known for years, that also she has kids. I'm sorry. Why are you upset again for? Like maybe I'm missing something because I feel like even him just sitting there saying that was just like, bro. Now, of course, they get into the history of Sonny a little bit, where Felicia is saying that Sonny's a very complicated man. On one hand, yes, he is violent, he's a criminal, he's a mobster, and everything like that. But he also talks about how he stuffed up a stone and he gives money to the children's hospital or to the hospital, or whatever. She didn't say that, but he talks about a lot of the good stuff that he's done, right? And so ultimately, what it comes down to, she's like, listen, it's complicated. Even with Bobby, yeah, she didn't like Sonny, but at the same time, she loved Carly, and so that was always a weird dynamic. And long story short, Lucas doesn't want to sit there and lose his sister, and he doesn't want Sonny to come in between them. So what she said was, listen, you don't have to sit there and be quiet and bite your tongue or whatever, but don't sit there and give her ultimatums. Don't make her sit there and choose between you and a guy that she's pretty much built a life with or had a life with and children and stuff like that. Don't make her choose between the two of them. Jason went over there to discuss the whole Brit situation with Anna, and talks about how he saw her at the hotel, and also talks about, saw her at the airport, and also talks about the weird discrepancy with the paperwork. See, I didn't actually get a chance to read the file on the TV because it happened and that was just about it, right? And what he tells Anna is that there's a date of where Lisa went to go pick up Sasha's, not Sasha's, Britt's ashes, but there's no record of the cremation time or anything like that. Like, there's nothing. So between the paperwork that's not really adding up and the fact that he swore he saw her, he's like, I think that she's alive. And Anna's like, listen, you don't just sit there and go on like whims and stuff like that. So if you say it, I believe it. But she's like, the thing about Britt is that Britt knew her time was short. And, one of the things about Britt is she didn't want people to feel bad for her. She didn't want people to sit there and see her in that state. So, Anna's like, listen, let's just sit there and say that she is alive. Do you think it's the right thing to do to go in and see her? Or should you just honor her wishes? Because if she wanted to come back, she would have. If she faked her death, it was probably for a reason. Of course, he doesn't listen, and he books a hotel, some hotel called Poppy's or whatever, and while he's sitting there talking to the desk clerk, he overhears Britt. I guess that was supposed to be their cliffhanger Friday. Britt is feeling cooped up. She doesn't want no damn massages. She wants to sit there and go into town. The guy, whoever his name is like, listen, given your condition and the fact that, the last time you hit like a donkey like 2 years ago, um, we just don't think it's a good idea. Plus, not in this time frame, whatever they're working on, they need her. And so he's like, just right now, for right now, you can't go anywhere. I don't think they were really too happy about her trip to Paris for some odd reason, but that was probably another reason why. Maybe she stayed longer than they wanted her to. Now, Jack pulls Vaughn and Jocelyn off the Dalton case. Basically, Smith is saying that the information is clearly not coming from the lab or anything like that. It's coming from somewhere else. And so they're going to sit there and follow the courier. The last place that she was, the last place that the tracker was sent was to that place that Britt is staying at, like the Poppy Resort. But this time they're posing as undercover. I mean, this time they're being undercover as newlyweds, and it's just like you're gonna be going there. You're not. All you're gonna be sitting there doing is surveilling and taking notes, pretty much. Route, shift changes, things like that. And it's like, listen, you just find a way to quit, Jocelyn. You quit or whatever. You go down there. Now Jocelyn's like, it would be kind of odd. I feel like my cover's gonna be blown if I just leave while I'm, helping him with his research. And also, she doesn't want to sit there and leave. Then Emma takes her spot, and she doesn't realize just how dangerous this whole thing is. But Jack is like, listen, I got it. Just go, do what you got to do. Now, of course, Jack, again, gets the caveat, you got to really sit there and sell this. And for the people that have been watching this show for a long time, it makes me think about Anna. How many times where Anna has to sit there and go undercover did things get too real? Is that what happened with Duke? Like, was he like the target or something like that, and she got too close to her target? Let me know in the comment section below. But Dante went to the pool, talked to Christina for a little bit, and ultimately wanted to talk to Danny about the courier. The person that went to go pick up the package for Dalton and everything. I don't necessarily remember why he had to sit there and do that and tell Anna this stuff, but all she really needs to know is that Emma's getting a lot more closer. He was sitting there saying while he was asking Danny questions, he can see that Dalton and Emma is getting a lot more chummier. Now, Emma was able to sit there and strike another conversation with Dalton because of the dog and the shoe and everything like that. And I'm surprised Dalton didn't sit there and get upset with Danny again. But she, she wants to, she's like, hey, listen, if you need help or whatever with your, I don't know, I guess apparently he has a lecture tomorrow or whatever. It's like, if you need help or whatever, I can help you out. Now, of course, Dalton's like, listen, Jocelyn got that covered, so, I'm good right now. Of course, he doesn't know that Johnson's going to sit there and quit, but for right now, he's good. And at some point, when Emma gets back, because even before Emma goes, Gio's like, listen, just kind of proceed cautiously. Because when she gets back, he's like, you don't want to overplay her hand. You're coming across as giving like stalker vibes. Like every time he's here, you find a way to sit there and talk to him. Like you don't think that he's going to sit there and put two and two together. He does agree to sit there and help break into the lab because, Emma can't sit there and take notes with Dalton and be in his class and everything like that or help him out, whatever, and also breaking into the lab. And I knew that at some point, Gio was going to get involved in this whole thing. Now, Sonny was summoned by Alexis that asked pretty much why did he think it was a good idea to sit there and take sick with her? He doesn't really confirm or deny or anything like that, but he came there with the understanding that Alexis was going to give him an apology. See, Alexis, that night when Charlie burns down, Alexis lashed out at Sonny Smith saying, this is your fault, this is another one of your enemies coming at you, and your children getting caught in the crossfire. And Sonny was like, oh, I think, the last time, I kind of let you lash out at me, and I figured you was going to apologize. I'm like, for what? I mean, you took Marco because you felt that Sitwell came after you. So in all reality, why do you think you're gonna get an apology from Alexis? I didn't understand that. Like, I don't know why they wrote that in there. Sonny's not clueless. He knows that his life is dangerous. He knows that people will sit there and come at him through his children, through his family, to sit there and get at him. So why did you expect an apology? But did she use a mean tone or whatever to you? Like, I don't understand that. Maybe I'm missing something, but I didn't really understand why he felt like he was owed an apology. Um, Lucas also came across Sonny, and still just gave him like stink attitude or whatever. Sonny was like, listen, I'm here because my daughter has swimming lessons. And Lucas is like, hey, how would you like your other daughter to sit there and know that you kidnapped, Marco? And Sonny once again is like, well, do what you got to do. And I'm kind of just like, how long are you just going to sit there and just let him get away with just a level of disrespect and everything like that? I'm like, bro, you gotta have to sit there and find a way to put him in his place. I mean, I know you and Carly got kids, but like at the end of the day, you are a mobster, right? And the last one essentially was just Christina thanking Marco for saving her life. Also, that they're trying to just let him know that my dad had nothing to do with Natalia's death, and just also talking about the fact that because Marco was like, well, first of all, when Marco took off the glasses, again, he lied to Christina about what happened to him. But, when Christina was like, listen, my condolences to you, Marco was like, that's really nice, seeing how practically Natalia, when she first came to town, treated her like trash. And Christina was like, yeah, that's true. But she also did came through for her. She also did came through. She also came through for her during the witness stand or whatever after the accident and her losing the baby. She practically perjured herself, right? And I think it was another time she was driving really fast and like he she also lied about that. And she lied to the cops and stuff like that and called Sonny and was just with Sonny during or she was going to be with Sonny during that whole heart procedure thing or whatever. So like in Christina's eyes, Natalia, they made amends. Um, Marco just wished that he would have made amends with her before, her passing or whatever. So it's kind of weird though that they have like their service or their funeral or whatever, and Blaze just was not there. Like, yeah, I understand that they weren't close or whatever, but like, damn, like you couldn't even just sit there and just get a stand in for a little bit, just for a day, just to sit there and show a level of solidarity. Like, I don't know. That was weird. And because they have different fathers, it's like what happened to Natalia's what happened to Blaze's father? Why wasn't he there? Like it just didn't really seem like it made sense. And granted I understand extras and costs and you know the fact that Blaze got fired and maybe the actress was not too keen on coming back, but like I guess I just needed to make a little more sense than what it did. I feel like that's essentially about it. There wasn't really too much to this episode, unless except for the cliffhanger part. But if I missed anything, write in the comment section below. I will be doing the live stream, as you know, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and that's when I will be sitting there talking about all the souls besides General Hospital. So definitely come through then.